I hope I have everything I need out here. And here we are. Welcome to Signature Kitchen Suites Experience and Design Center. We are here to do a little cooking with Chef Nick. Today we're going to make a Calabrese mussel and clam pasta. So we will get the show started momentarily here for y'all. And we're in. Once again, welcome. Signature Kitchen Suite Experience and Design Center, located in the beautiful Napa Valley, where I am also so fortunate to call my home. For those of you that have been with me before, I think we're getting very familiar with the 48-inch dual fuel pro range. For those of you that have not yet joined me, this is the 48-inch dual fuel pro range, complete with sous vide well, only one on the market built into the actual range. Simmer burners in the back, ultra high, very powerful gas burners in the front. We will be utilizing these today in today's demo. And this is my induction, 2-burner induction surface here to my right. 2 separate temperature hobs. They can be flexed to make one universal hob. And they are equipped with our boost power, which you will see. We're gonna boil a little linguine, and this water is gonna boost and boil right before our eyes. So now that I've gone through my beautiful range, and you can see behind me all our other we have many other configurations in 36-inch and 48-inch. Dual fuel, there's a couple all gas configurations. If you, after my demo, hang out on the page here and start to do a little shopping at signaturekitchensuite.com, that would be wonderful. You could buy one of these for your own home. You could contact a representative from Signature Kitchen Suite, or you could go and find the closest dealer to you and your locale and go shopping at a dealer. Let's get cooking. So you can see all the beautiful ingredients in front of me prepped for our mussel and clam pasta with Calabrian sausage or salami. It's a little fresh nest of linguine. I have some red bell peppers, and I'm just gonna go ahead and start. I only need 2, and I have, by the magic of TV, prepped some, but we are going to utilize my beautiful and very strong gas burners. Now, depending on what you're up to, we're gonna roast the peppers right on here. You can use one of these little racks if you're doing more than 2. I like to get them as closest to the fire as possible. So I'm gonna put them as close to the fire as possible. The great thing about our big, firm cast iron is you can do that. You have room to actually char grill, char roast, char broil your peppers. Okay, so this is my favorite way to do these. It gets the char flavor. They get nice and black, and they're quick, and they doesn't totally cook the pepper. What you want to do here, char the outside. You want to get the pepper cooked about halfway, but not totally cooked to mush. So that will be accomplished there. Next off, we are going to start up our mussels and clams. I'm going to make a couple portions, and I am going to do this with mussels and clams. You could do this with just mussels. You could do this with just clams. I like the combination of flavor in the 2 of them, and I like the color and variation. These are PEI, otherwise known as Prince Edward Island mussels. You'll see that, PEI mussels. It's a Prince Edward Island mussel from Washington State. These are Manila clams, West Coast. This is my West Coast clam, okay? I'm using this very festive seafood side towel, being that we are cooking clams and mussels. So I can hear these. You can hear them starting to sizzle a little bit. You see that black? That's what you're looking for. You want that all around your pepper. So you want to just roll them a couple percent, roll them a quarter of the way, roll them a quarter of the way. I have one on here, and I have my second one on the induction. This is, look at the versatility of my 48-inch range. I am charbroiling. I still have, or char roasting, fire roasting peppers. I still have 2 saute pans on hot, high heat, and I still have the ability to boil this water on boost, hot, high heat. And I'm not even using the back. It's amazing. So there's a recipe available for this at signaturekitchensuite.com. I think it makes 4 portions. I'm going to make a 2 portions here. So I start with a little extra virgin olive oil. You can use extra virgin olive oil for this one because you're not going to get it extremely hot. Here's where the Calabrian comes in. This is Calabrian salami. Calabrian salami is similar to chorizo, except it doesn't have the smoky paprika in it. They use Calabrian chilies, a little bit of fennel, a little bit of garlic. It has that red color, and it's a little spicy. So, Calabrian salami right in, Calabrian salami right in. Now, if you happen to be a pescatarian or just a non-pork eater in general, pork aversion, leave it out. With the chili paste, the peppers, the garlic, this is a very flavorful pasta without the pork in it. However, being that it's a Calabrese pasta, I like to start with Calabrian salami. Also, you'll notice every culture has a version of this. The Portuguese cook linguiça and clams. The Spanish cook chorizo and clams. In Italy, they cook salami and clams. The Chinese have a dish where they cook Chinese sausage and clams. Something about dried pork and shellfish just goes hand in hand. I think back in the day when the guys would go fishing, they would take salami on the boat. And they would have salami, they would have clams, mussels, their daily catch, and they would cook those stuff up together. And then traditionally, over time, we now have all these classic dishes that are shellfish and pork. So, sliced garlic goes in, and a lot of. This is really just a fancy version of linguine and clams. The sausage is in, fat's all rendered out of that. Now, you want to cook the garlic right in. You see how it's nice and red? That's because all the fat came out of the Calabrian salami. And now, we're cooking the garlic in that delicious, see, it's all red. That's why you start with the salami, because you start to cook out some of that fat from the salami, which is just, if you were here, you can smell it in the air. It's all you can smell is Calabrian salami. You want to get the garlic light, golden brown, because you don't want raw garlic in there. Okay? Now, when your garlic's starting to toast, do this away from the fire, just in case there's a little water in your shellfish. You're going to pour your clams right in. You don't want those catching on fire. You don't want those catching on fire. So do them away from the flame. Okay, back on. You want to get the shells hot before they go into the steam oven. We're going to do the same thing with the mussels. Away from the fire, mussels are in. Toss them around in the sausage and the garlic. And you want to get them hot. We're going to splash a little wine in these. And then we're going to get them right down in my steam oven here. Let's give these peppers another flip. Peppers another flip. They're roasting along just very nicely. So, I have hot shells. We're going to give one more toss, and then we're going to go down in the oven. One more toss away from the fire. Nice and hot. So, here's what we're going to do. Down in my steam oven. We're going to put that on the top rack. Mussels in. Nice and hot shells. Mussels on the bottom rack. You see how I have chosen sauté pans that fit in the oven. Make sure you do that before you start your video. We're gonna close the steam oven up, and I'm gonna show you how attractive is my digital interface. So we're gonna pick left oven, steam cook. You have multiple options. We're gonna go straight steam. I like a nice, gentle, that's the whole point of this recipe. 212 degrees. And there we are. We are off and steaming. You have a nice, convenient countdown. And if you'll notice, I have this oven on the right set to warming, and I will use that in just a little bit when we start to platter up this cooked shellfish. So I just wanted to show you the beautiful front of my range, the touch screen interface, the timers and bezels. Isn't she a beautiful, beautiful appliance? Excellent. While you're sneaking in, you can get a close-up on my bell peppers, which are, you see that? They're bubbling a little. That means they're starting to boil from the inside. In addition to getting perfectly charred, they're cooking and boiling there. They're about 2 to 3 minutes away. Look, if the little one catches on fire, that's okay. We're char broiling, okay? So I am going to take a look at this Q&A. I have this in my nice little chat window. Penelope says, do you need to preheat the steam oven before you use it? Penelope, wonderful question. When I'm doing full steam, I do not preheat. If I was doing a steam assist, like a steam roasted dish, I would preheat. When I'm doing full steam, I like to put my product in, whether it be asparagus or clams, and I go straight in. The minute I get it in there, I will turn the steam oven on, and it will start to fill up with steam immediately. I find that if I preheat the steam oven, I really have to be careful. If I leave it preheated too long, I can run out of steam. So I like to set it right when I put the food in. Now, our steam oven is equipped with the #1 biggest and most powerful steam generator on the market. That's what allows me to do that. I put my food in, I turn the steam oven on, and because we have the largest and most powerful steam generator, my oven cavity's full of steam right away. With our generator, you get more steam, more powerful steam, and more consistent steam pumped into your oven cavity, all while using less water. So no need to preheat with our steam oven. I'm gonna take these peppers off, slide over to a bowl. Here's the peppers. Now you can do a couple things. Here, I'll show you the trick for peppers at home. And corresponds to my next comment from Claire. Claire says perfect for making chili rellenos. I'm gonna pretend that's a question. Claire, yeah, yes. This is how I do my chilies for chili rellenos, except I use the green pasillas, but same way. Get them all charred. See that? Beautiful. Leaving a little wisp of smoke coming off them. Then, right into a plastic bag. Oh, they're hot. Right into a bag. Make sure that your pepper's not still on fire when you throw it into the bag. Because I have thrown a pepper in a plastic bag and had the pepper just fire right through the bag and land on my foot. Because it was so hot, it melted the plastic bag. So be careful. The plastic bag is gonna do a couple things. It's gonna continue to cook the pepper a little bit. Also, it's gonna trap all our steam. Steam's our friend. Steam continues to cook the pepper. It also loosens up the skin, and it will enable us to peel the pepper in a much easier fashion in just a couple minutes. So I'm gonna turn my burners off here. I'll leave one on because we're gonna come back out. I'm gonna move this to the front because I like to work on the front burner. If you can, if you have this whole range to yourself, make it easy. Use the front burner. Okay, so I am going to turn the front burner onto boost. I know you're not here to verify, but I'm not lying. This is cool tap water that I took straight from the tap behind me, and you're gonna see just how fast it comes to a boil on boost. I'm going to put in a big pinch of salt, and I'm going to show off my beautiful nests of linguine. Here's one, here's two nests. Yes, that is a technical term, nest of pasta. This is just a basic egg dough that I made and cut on the KitchenAid. I have a little pasta maker attachment for the KitchenAid. I have a linguine cutter and a fettuccine cutter. Keep it super simple, but nice, simple egg dough. In my opinion, if you have time to make the pasta, do it. It cooks quicker, makes your life easier when it comes time to eating. And I think for a dish like this with a very simple shellfish sauce, it's the best. Fresh pasta is better than a dry pasta on this one. Cassandra says she noticed that we had digits on the knobs. Can she see that again? She has never seen that before. That's a better question for my production guy and cameraman. We'll see if they can juggle that, Cassandra, and get back here again. But yes, I have digits on the knobs. The red digits are for my heat setting, and I have blue digits for timers. Let me take a look at my steaming. Okay, we're steaming. We need, I'd say, 12 to 14 minutes total. I'm gonna say 7 or 8 more minutes on my shellfish. So, while we are, whoa, my boost, shut off. While we are boosting, I'm gonna take a couple more of these chat questions. And thank you everyone so much for tuning in and pinging in these chat questions. It makes my demo much more enjoyable. We can actually interact. Jessica says, do you have to have special pots and pans for the induction? Yes and no. Yes, you do. They need to be conductive metal. Now, I wouldn't necessarily call them special pots because this day and age, almost every single quality pot and pan that you get with a cladded bottom is going to be induction friendly. You can find there's a little induction signal, it's a little wavy line on the bottom of your pan, or sometimes they just say induction friendly. Once again, this day and age, you're hard pressed to find a quality pan that is not induction friendly. Now, if you're using, like, I have that beautiful copper stock pot back there. If you're using grandma and grandpa's old copper, they're not going to work. You have to use those on the gas. You can use copper cladded bottom, but 100% your fancy old copper stuff won't work on the induction. 100% aluminum won't work on the induction. Anything else is pretty induction friendly. Betty says, will gluten-free or veggie pasta work just as well as egg pasta? Yes, of course. Gluten-free pasta, veggie pasta. I used to use a corn pasta. You can use cauliflower flour pasta. They make all kinds of gluten-free pasta options these days that actually are very, very high quality. So really all that's doing is changing the texture maybe and shape of the pasta. I don't know if you can find gluten-free linguine or fettuccine, but really all that's doing is going to change up your pasta texture a little. But Betty, if you are someone that eats gluten-free and you're constantly using gluten-free or veggie pasta anyways, it's just going to taste like normal pasta to you. So yeah, use whatever pasta you like and is healthy for you and fits your dietary restrictions. Look at how fast. And I messed it up, and the first time I did it, I didn't even turn it on all the way. That's been boosting's a verb around here. This has been boosting for not even 90 seconds, and I'm already seeing the water. I can already feel the water boiling on the bottom. You can actually feel the vibrations of the water boiling. That's how much energy and power our boost program has. Okay, so we're gonna go down here. You see that beautiful puff of steam? That is the power of the Signature Kitchen Suite steam oven. And look what we have. Beautiful. All our manila clams are popped open. They're studded with Calabrian salami and garlic, and our mussels are about looking the same. So here's what we're gonna do before I get into this pepper. Watch this. Here's my pet peeve when I order linguine and clams at the restaurant. And it comes and it's beautiful, and then every clamshell you pick up doesn't have a clam in it. That bothers me. I like to be really gentle with my shellfish. Once they steam open, if you start shaking them all around and tossing them all around, they're gonna fall out. And then you're gonna have all these empty shells, and you and your guests are gonna have to chase all the clams around at the bottom, and I don't like that. So, very gently, pour your cooked clams into a perforated pan. This is where you splash a little wine in your pan. And then you take this delicious clam and Calabrian chili liquor, and you go right back in your saute pan with the wine. We're going to reduce that to our sauce consistency, and then we're going to put these back in. So I'll show you how I did that with the mussels. Whew, look at that. Signature Kitchen Suite steam oven power. And I will remind you that after about 120 seconds, my boost is a rolling boil, and I have to turn it down. The boost is faster than I can cook. So here we are. Mussels coming out, popping open, studded with garlic and Calabrian salami. You don't want to overcook shellfish. That's why I'm doing them in this gentle steam oven. I don't like to boil them on the stovetop because they're so delicate. Higher than 212 for too long, and they turn into little rubber bands. That is a beautiful, moist, delicate mussel, just like the rest of the seafood here. So same. We're gonna slide this very gently so all the mussels don't fall out of their shells. We're gonna put our pan back on the heat. Look, there you are. Cassandra, I hope you're looking. We're working hard for you so you can see our digital knobs again. Little splash of wine. And once again, we're gonna take our liquor, or our braising, steaming juice from the mussels, and we're gonna put that right in here with our white wine. So now we have mussel juice, clam juice, both spiked with Napa Valley white wine. Here's how we turn this into the whole clams Calabrese pasta. So this one's ahead of this one. But here's the bell peppers that have now cooled to where I can handle them. I'll do this over a bowl so we don't make a huge mess. Let me check the chat and make sure there's no scrolling chat. There is. Cast iron. Cassia or Cassia. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that. Beautiful name, by the way. If I could just figure out what is the proper pronunciation. We'll go with Cassia. Cassia. Cast iron. Yes. Cast iron works great on the induction. If I'm just searing or cooking seared scallops or a steak or a pork chop, I use the cast iron. Anytime I'm making pan sauce, I don't like the cast iron. I like a cladded saute pan. But cast iron works wonderfully on the induction. It gets ripping hot. Emmanuel says, let's see, let me check my stove before I answer Emmanuel's question. Yeah, we're looking okay. Emmanuel says, how do you know when to use the high versus low burner temps for your recipes? Is that a trick question, Emmanuel? You follow the recipe? No. I use the high burners in the front when I want power. I have 23,000 BTUs in the front. If I need to get oil hot, smoking, hot saute that you can hear the pan sizzling, I use the front. Once I have those set and I want them to keep warm and simmer and keep a nice temperature, I use the back. The back can be set on ultra low simmering. Once you have your sauces or your braises perfect, you can slide them to the back, set on a low simmer, and utilize your back burners. Good question. Okay, so look, now that they've steamed in the bag, watch this. They peel right off. See that? And once again, whoever's out there making chili rellenos now, I'm glad I've inspired a chili relleno dinner with this. Don't rinse them with water. I repeat, do not rinse them with water. You want the charred flavor. You want some of that black, or we wouldn't have done that. Don't wash it all off, because then they become too clean. Okay? You do need to rinse your hands off. Okay, I can see this one's getting low and reduced. So, we're gonna add the peppers that I have pre-diced. That was 2 of these that I peeled. I removed the seeds and I diced them. Watch. See that? So if you pop that open, you open him up here, this comes right out. That's the top and the seeds. And if you do it right and dump it, shake it, you get about 90% of the seeds out. That's what you want. And then you dice that. You don't want to rinse it off. Keep all that delicious roasty, toasty flavor on there, okay? So that's your roast peppers 101. If you're scared to do them on the burner, you can do them in the broiler. We have these amazing high-powered infrared broilers that would do a very similar job. I'm going to add peppers into this one as well. And I'm going to add a little bit of my Calabrian chili paste. If you can't find Calabrian chili paste, use another basic chili paste. It's basically chilies, a little vinegar, a little bit of oil, blend it up. I think in Calabria they ferment the chilies first, so you get a little bit of that smoky, earthy flavor, but any chili paste will work. So here's the deal. You want this one reduced a little more. This one I reduced a little too much while I was talking. So we're going to take this Napa Valley white wine and we're going to loosen it up a little bit. That's what you're looking for. That. Then, when you have that consistency, a big pinch of parsley and a big pinch of basil. Okay? I'm going to go back on high, and I think we're going to pull this together. Now, remember this. I told you when you were down looking at the digital bezels and the beauty of the front of my range and the touch screen, I showed you the warming oven. That's because this is the way I like to display this. I told you I don't like to jump the mussels and clams around in the saute pan once they're opened. And they all fall to the side anyways, and it's very hard to plate them with the pasta. So I like to do this. I like to set all my shellfish that's perfectly steamed. I don't want to boil it. I gently steamed it for a reason. I don't want this going back in the pan and boiling up. And you're going to take your sausage and your garlic that came out of your steamed clams. Now I cooked shellfish for about 4. I'm going to plate a big portion for 2. Do you see how perfect? Look, if you boiled that mussel, he would be all shriveled up. He'd be like a little scared critter, and he would eat like a rubber band. The gentle steam oven just produces a beautiful, beautiful shellfish. Same. So we have the mussels out. We're going to take our West Coast Manila clams. Once again, perfect, juicy clams. Okay, perfect, perfect clams. Now, honestly, we're turning this into pasta because I love pasta. I spent a lot of my career cooking Italian and Cal-Italian food. And this is actually, I showed it to my production team earlier, this is a version of a dish that I cooked at one of the first restaurants I opened. I did it solely with clams, but was a dish that I have sold to many thousands of people in the past. This is just a version of. So, look, you get all your shellfish here, pretty. Okay? Then, you set this down in your warming oven. Warming oven sits at about 180 degrees. It'll keep your food hot, but not too hot to where it's drying out, and not too cool to where it's in a temperature danger zone and you're gonna get all your guests sick. Use the warming oven. And that way you can build your beautiful platters, set in there, keep warm, so on and so forth. So now, well, hold on. Let's make sure there's no cool new questions coming in. Cassandra says thank you. Cassia says thank you. I got her name right. Awesome. Make note of that. So, what's in here is our wine, our cooking liquid, our herbs, our roasted peppers, and our Calabrian salami that was left over in the pan. Same here. We're gonna go herbs, my big pinch of basil, my big pinch of parsley. Let's make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Nope, I'm not. Okay, good. So, we'll turn these down. I love these burners. They're so easy to work with. And thanks for calling out the digital. The digital makes my life easy. I don't have to squint and look at the knob and I just look at the number. I look at the number and I know. Perfect. Okay, so hot, boosting. We're gonna drop 1 nest of pasta. And yes, cameraman, nest is a technical term. That is what we call 1 nest of linguine. Drop into the boost. They heard me say nest of pasta earlier. They thought I was making it up. It is a technical term. Here's the thing. You guys see me using these cool little forceps tongs all the time. I love them. For pasta, get those out of here. You need these clunky, funky, old-fashioned tongs for pasta. You will never plate a pretty pasta nest with those modern little forceps pinchers. You need big, clunky, old-fashioned, old-school pasta tongs for this. So, pasta, you want always in a vigorous boil. You don't want your pasta poaching, steaming. You want it boiling. Hence, why I'm cooking it on boost. The water gets hot quick. Pasta, you never lose a boil. The worst thing is when you have a boil and you pour all your pasta in and then the water goes meh and it stops boiling. That's really bad. You want your pasta to be boiling all the time from start to finish. So boost it. Cook your pasta on boost. Look, be hard pressed to get this thing. This thing won't stop boiling if I'll shut it off and it'll stay boiling for another 30 seconds. That's how much it's boosting. And because I'm using fresh pasta, it's gonna cook fast. And you just gotta test one. When I was a young cook in the restaurant, I used to say, how do you know when it's done? And say, well, you frickin' put one in your mouth and you test it. And that's done. I like fresh pasta for this because it has that chewier consistency. So look, that's exactly what you want. You see how nice and thick that is? Now, in my recipe, I call for a lump of butter in here. A lump, another technical term. A lump of butter, that's about a half tablespoon. This sauce consistency is so nice and viscous, you don't need it. We don't need it today. Oops, I'm gonna do a little drizzle of olive oil instead, and we're gonna keep this nice and light and Mediterranean and summery. This is a great summer pasta. Michelle Mazzola says, hi Michelle Mazzola. My first training mentor here in the SKS Signature Kitchen Suite world. I miss you, Michelle. I'm glad you're tuning in to visit. Okay, see that? I'm not gonna walk away from you guys to a colander, so I'm just gonna drain this with my tongs. And we're gonna call this my 1 nest. It's gonna go in here. See that? Look at that. You could eat it just like that. You don't even need the platter of shellfish that I hid away. Look at that. Okay, and we're gonna grab our second nest. Like I said, the great thing about using these big type pasta tongs, and let a little of your water come with you. The water that's in here from fresh pasta will contain a little bit of starch. See that? Come on. Beautiful. And the starch really helps to coat everything and thicken your pasta and give you that viscous mouthfeel that butter would. And you don't even need the butter if you get a little of your, and then see, oh, you're like, oh, it's a little dry, right? So you splash a little more pasta water in there because that's seasoned and it's nice and starchy. See how that, watch. See, it looks a little dry. And this goes for every pasta in the world. It's a little dry, it's a little dry. Okay, cool. Splash a little pasta water in there. And you loosen it up right before you're gonna go plate it. Okay, I'm gonna be a brute. I'm gonna taste this with my finger like I'm, perfect. Okay, so are we ready to present this? Let's do it. Let's do it. So we have, I know one was mussels, one was clams, so we're gonna do this. We're gonna combine them so that our mussel and clam flavor is all in the same pan. Then we're gonna, don't forget your mussels and clams, we're gonna take our beautiful mussels and clams from my large oven, equipped with our warming setting. Look, they're just as beautiful as when I put them in. They didn't dry out, they didn't turn into little rubber bands. They are still perfectly cooked shellfish. Okay, then, where'd my pasta tongs go? Pasta tongs, you see how in your pasta pan, a lot of the good stuff's on the edge? If your mussels and clams were in here, they would be all, it'd be really hard to transfer them. That's why I like to make them beautiful first. Then take your pasta and get it out kind of long, like that, so you can set it down and give it a nice turn, okay? And that will put some height on your pasta. See how it's long? I'm kind of at one end of it. This is how you plate pasta. You drop it in the middle and you give it like a half a turn and it'll sit up on itself. Pasta, long, half a turn. See how it sits up high? And then you take all the goodness that's in here. Oh my, why did we order lunch? We ordered lunch. It's like a Grubhub guy dropping off lunch and we have this in front of us. So, and as you saw, as you noticed, I'm not cooking in my sous vide well today, so I don't have to leave you guys. I'm staying in my 48-inch quarters, and I'm using my sous vide well as a little plate-up table, which may be naughty, but if you're gentle and you don't scratch your sous vide well, it's fine. A little extra virgin olive oil over your mussels and clams around the edge and right on top of your pasta. And you're gonna take your extra basil just because it's summer. And voila, there you have it. Signature Kitchen Suite, steamed mussel and clam pasta a la Calabrese with roasted peppers, garlic, basil, parsley, and Calabrian salami. Once again, that was cooked on your Signature Kitchen Suite, 48-inch range. Multiple modalities were used, mainly the ultra-high gas burners, my boost induction, and my still steaming in the background 18-inch combi steam oven that I use the full steam setting on to very gently get those shellfish popped open. We're gonna flick through. Oh look, I have some questions. Questions from Betty. How do you tell when, so Betty's asking how I tell when noodles are finished. Do I ever throw them at the wall? I have done that. You saw, I just eat one. I literally just pull one out and I eat it. And like I said, when I was a young restaurant cook and learning the ropes in fine dining restaurants, I would constantly ask the chef all the time, or the older cooks, how do I know when this is done? They say, you frickin' taste it. You eat. How do I know when the egg's perfectly hard boiled? You crack one open and you eat it. So that's what I do. I literally pull pasta out. I take a bite out of it when it's the al dente that I'm looking for. it's done. I have seen people, mainly Italian aunties and grandmas, slinging pasta at the wall, and when it sticks or when it slowly crawls down the wall, the pasta's done. People do that. Not my method of choice. And as you can see, my experience in Design Center is a really beautiful place to be throwing pasta on all the walls. I would get in big trouble. And it is a beautiful dish. Thank you for all the comments. Like I said, when we're done here, somewhere above me on the page, find your closest local dealer. So you can go peruse Signature Kitchen Suite appliances, contact a sales representative, request a quote, all the great things you can do when I shut up and stop cooking. So thanks again. I had a blast.